Recording. Hello, everybody. It is Sunday, May 31st, 2026. Unless you're listening to Super Gamecast. I am Bronson Fiore, your host, joined by Emily Hulslander.
Hello, friends.
Hello. The Donkey Doos is sick today. He caught plague.
Buddies.
Yeah,
Apparently that's going around. Go figure.
Yeah, I caught something like, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was miserable.
that
And
was rough.
I ended up working the whole week, which was just was a mistake. Like, I'm not sure if you've ever had a shift where you just like go to the bathroom every 45 minutes, but
Granted,
yeah.
I was drinking a lot yesterday, like fluids and all of that. So that was me yesterday, actually.
Yeah, yes, I was drinking a ton of water, but like just my insides felt like they were on fire. And then
Yeah.
I talked to a coworker, and it turned out that just like there was gastrointestinal issues going around and whatnot. So
That's rough.
yeah, not great, not great in general. So anyway, but hey, we're not here to talk about the stomach issues. We're here to talk about video games.
I mean, there was still some news despite how everything was. Of
Yeah,
like getting it
it's
geared up for this next week. So
yeah, we kind of talked before the show about how like the week leading up to SGF, which used to be, E3, was like always kind of fucking bananas, like not bananas, but like very quiet before it was like the calm before the storm.
yeah.
Um, and this week was kind of that. But our first news story. Okay, well that screen's broken. That's cool. All right, well never mind. No news story view this week. That's great. Love to see it. Is Valve's Steam Deck gets a huge price increase. The 1 terabyte model went from $650 to $950.
I
All right,
saw this morning. I was like, "Oh, sweet Jesus."
and the
I mean,
affordable model,
I
the
understand
afford
why they're doing the price increases too.
well, and I'm gonna go into that more in a sec here, and then the 512 gig model, the kind of the middle model, went up to from 550 to 790. Valve said in the post, Steam Deck itself hasn't changed. These new prices reflect the current state of component costs and other global logistical challenges across the industry as a whole. We'll keep you updated if anything changes. So here's the reality on why this particular one is so high. Okay, I will tell you why this one in particular is so really goddamn huge. And it's because PC handhelds do not sell that many units. They just don't. Like the Steam Deck is the most successful, and last I heard there were like 10 million sold. Which that's not like a small amount, but when you compare that to a Switch 2, for example, which did 20 million in under a year, versus 10 in 3 almost 4 years, it's kind of like so, which means they just have to order less RAM, and when you're ordering less volume of RAM, you're going to get not as good of a price.
Yeah.
That's the short version of it, is you're just getting less, so you're not getting as good of a price, which I'm actually kind of curious why this has not hit the Xbox Ally yet. It's hit every other handheld. Like the Legion Go S has gone up to $300. The Legion Go 2 went up like $600.
Ooh.
Uh, yeah, the Legion Go 2 is kind of like the big fancy handheld. It's like kind of the perfect. They checked every box on the handheld wish list, but that's also why it launched at $1,200. And then so the Xbox hasn't moved yet, and I'm curious when that's going to happen. I assume it's just going to be when they sell through their current stock. I'm not gonna lie, at $1,000, I was considering getting an Xbox Ally X, just I'm like, this thing actually might go up in value. Like that was my real thought I had. I was like, man. Uh, so yeah, that's why, like, because I've heard a lot of stuff in regards to, oh, Valve's going corporate, their price going. Just like, no, this is just the reality of cost of fucking parts right now, dude.
Like, we've mentioned this on the show a number of times about how when you finish building your Jarvis 2,
Mm-hmm.
months later, the prices for each of those parts jumped,
Yeah.
like, skyrocketed jumped.
Yes, like I built right before the AI rocket went to the moon on memory.
Yeah.
And same thing with and it's not just like the thing that you have to remember here. I feel that everyone doesn't really acknowledge is like it's not all the company trying to screw you. Some cases it is, but it is in a lot of cases. Hey, the price of memory has gone up this much, and you look at how much memory is in some of these devices. Um, like the Steam Deck has 16 gigs of memory. And you can check how much 16 gigs of memory has gone up. Like like most memory has tripled. And depending on how much you're ordering, maybe even more than that, because I'm gonna pull up my Amazon order from when I built Jarvis last year, right? And I remember paying like $200, right? Like I remember for 64 gigs of DDR 5 Expo RAM at 6,000 megatransfers per second. Okay. I paid $205 before tax. Do you know how much that same kit is right at this moment?
I almost wanna say it's like 500 plus.
Higher, way higher.
1,000?
950.
Holy shit dicks, like, what the fuck, man?
Yes, and then also you have to remember because of this stupid war that's going on in Iran, the cost of
Oh,
the cost of all oil is jacked to the roof. So transporting these things is harder because you have to remember these are assembled in China or Taiwan or wherever, and that's causing the fucking bill of materials to go through the roof because shipping it is more expensive. The plastics that go into the casing of these is more expensive. That's just the reality of the situation. Um, so yeah, and I know that. So yeah, like it's not, and this is not isolated. Like Sony has gone up $250 across the board, basically. Or no, sorry, the Pro went up $200. The regular one went up 100, and then before that they went up 50. So they've gone up 150, and even the Switch 2 is gone up $50 starting this September.
right.
Xbox went from 500 to 650. They went up $150. The Series S went up from 300 to 400, which that's fucking crazy. That's crazy as shit. Like that the Series S, I bought mine new on a Black Friday special for $240.
Yeah, see, I bought mine for, like, 250.
Yeah, like but it's the reality of making these fucking things because RAM is expensive.
Sure
Um,
is.
and that this goes up. The average price of new video game hardware in the U.S. before COVID was $235. As of this past holiday season, it was $439. Now that's probably going to go up this year, and the reality is most people are going to not pay this amount because they don't make the money for it already. Like that's the first bit of the reality there. And even if they did, they're just gonna play what they have, dude. This is just too much money for people, with the exception of like the most invested, right? Like the people like us, we're gonna blow that kind of money. Like we're like when PlayStation 6 rolls around, if they have a really cool exclusive game, I will probably blow the money to buy a PlayStation 6. But
Yeah, I
pe-
probably would too.
But like the people like us are like 1 to 3% of the consumer who are like
Mm.
grown adults with decent incomes who this is their primary hobby and they're willing to blow $1,000 on a fucking PlayStation. The majority of people are not. They're just not.
Wow.
And you know, normally in the past, the price of a system has gone down. Because Moore's law and several like Moore's law, chips would shrink and it'd be cheaper to produce. Uh, you look at the lifespan of the PlayStation 1. It started at $300 and then it went to 200 and then 150 and then $100 and then like $100. GameCube started at 200, went to 150, went to 100. At the very end of its life, it was $50. In
Damn.
2007, you can get a GameCube for $50. You look at the PS3, started at 600, way too high, way too high. That's like a
At
thousand
that time,
dollars.
it was.
That was $1,000 in today's money.
Damn.
It's crazy to think about. But so you go to 1,000 and then went to 600 and then it went down to 5 and then 4 and then eventually 3 and then eventually 2. 360 went to 4 to 3 to 2 to 150. Like it's last generation was a little weird because like PS4 launched at 4, went to 3. If you waited for a deal, you get a 250, but mostly hung at 3. So we've just kind of hit this wall in terms of pricing, and then all this external shit. And yeah, I feel like this generation of games has been kind of really stonewalled because of this. That and the games are big enough and the cost is big enough to where developing this shit is really expensive and takes significantly longer than it used to. So yeah, I don't know. It's it is a thing. It is a thing.
And it's how the world is nowadays, folks.
Yep. So yeah, I think most consumers are just gonna hang on to their current hardware. Like I think when PlayStation 6 rolls around, it'll probably sell out to the hardcores, and then after it sells out, it'll have a hard road because most people are like, yeah, my PS5 is fine. It plays the games fine.
Yeah.
Uh, which and I think in Valve's case, their hardware division is actually kind of in trouble because I used to be able to very easily recommend a Steam Deck
Yeah.
because at $550 for what is like the most well-rounded handheld that was an easy recommend. But 790 for the cheap one? Oof. Oof. That's rough going. Now they do have refurbished ones.
Okay.
I do want to throw this out here for people. If you can catch them when they're selling refurbished ones, which does not happen often. This is very much a luck of the draw. You gotta be checking the website every day type thing. But you can get a 1 terabyte OLED for $759. You can get a 512 gig LCD if you don't mind the worst screen for $350. That there are options there. It's just a matter of yeah, you're kind of just waiting for it to come around. So yeah, I I think this is a bummer. The big concern I have for this also is like getting new people into the hobby, right? Because when I was a young man or
When you were just
boy,
a young lad.
when I was a boy, when I was a boy, I asked for an N64 or I asked for a Sega, but my parents got me a 64, which good call on them. Uh, and that was $200, and $200 back then would probably be like $400 or $500 today, I imagine. Uh, and I think about like there is no way in hell a parent's gonna spend $1,000 on a Christmas present if a kid asks for a PlayStation. Like it's just not happening. Same thing with like the only one of these things right now that in my mind like they'd be willing to purchase would be a Series S or a Switch 2. Like that's the only things that are going to be people are going to be interested in terms of that, as far as like parents go and like getting kids into it. And a lot of kids are just being handed tablets and being told play video games on that unless their parents are already
Right.
invested. So, um so yeah. Anyway. So yeah. Hey, but alrighty, good to know. Good to know. Up, 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 up. All right, so yeah, no, but going forward. So let's get to the next news story. Speaking of things that are going to be way too goddamn expensive, Unreal Engine 6 has been revealed.
Yeah. I
Um,
was watching the announcement trailer because they announced it at a Rocket League championship out in France. And I was just like, a little cleaner, a little bit like sharper edges and what have you.
I guess my thing here is like I I do not think Unreal 6 is all that valuable at the moment, unless they're focusing on like optimization. Because
Yeah.
right now, Unreal 5 doesn't run that well on lower end hardware. It definitely requires some work to get it moving.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
in the case of Rocket League, especially, like Rocket League benefits as an esport, and this is
Oh,
any
yeah.
esport
Question.
game.
Without
Like,
question.
well, like Rocket League and any esport game needs to be able to run on like the most potato of potato computers. Like
Mm.
it needs to be able to run on a computer that like is basically just a hamster running on a wheel. Um, and I look at the history of Unreal 5 and I see this in-engine trailer and I'm like, dude, unless this is the most optimized shit, like unless the goal for Unreal 6 is like, yeah, we're really going above and beyond to make this a lot more optimized than 5 was and like performant, like we're looking for we're looking at a game that's like, holy shit, it run like this game not only looks amazing but it runs at like 120 FPS on this computer that is a potato and a hamster on a wheel. Like that is, but I don't see the benefit because like you play Unreal 5 games, they look good. They look
Yeah,
really
they
good.
look fine.
This is not like Unreal 3 to 4 or 2 to 3 where you're like, damn, that's an
Like, those
upgrade.
were rough
Like
back then.
I remember seeing the Unreal 3 upgrade, like when they showed it with the Unreal Tournament demo.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was at that PlayStation 3 conference. Anyway, uh I remember playing that or not playing, seeing that demo and like, damn, dude, this looks like a fucking movie compared to the stuff on Unreal 2. And then same thing with 3 to 4 and 4 to 5 was like, well, this does look better. But like I look at this and I'm like, well, the grass is more detailed and the cars are shinier, I guess. So how much of a performance hit is this going to take on my machine to get this to run well? What is this going
Quite
to need?
a
What is
hit.
this going to need? 128 gigs of RAM and a 5090?
If
So
not better. Like,
yes.
seeing that, I was just like, "Oh, buddy, what are you guys up to, Epic?" Like,
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
and I realize that Epic doesn't just work in video games. They also like the Unreal Engine is used in movies now. I want to say it was used in that new Mandalorian movie. But yeah, so I don't know. This just seems like in an era where people are increasingly concerned about their hardware, right? And like, man, will this run on my machine? What is going on here? Uh, I have to use a 3060 for the sixth straight year in a row because every graphics card is way too expensive. Like, in a world where that is the reality of the situation,
Hmm.
I feel like putting out a new engine that is most likely going to require a really, really good computer or new consoles seems like fucking insanity. But is what it is, I guess. Um, all right. We're on to the next news story.
Next news story.
Destiny.
Oh,
Yeah, this. Okay,
marathon
so
player.
marathon players and Bungie fans. So last week, we talked about how Destiny is ending, and a lot of people got really goddamn mad and started review bombing Marathon and basically shitting their pants all over the internet.
Oh
That
yeah.
that's kind of the long and short of it is they got real fucking mad and shit their pants all over the internet and were screeching about it. That's basically the long and the short of it. So, Destiny players review Mapping Marathon only met with a counter campaign from Bungie fans. So what has ended up happening is disappointment crept in the Marathon Steam page day, leading to an influx of negative reviews. But then Marathon players and Destiny and Bungie fans in general went and did the same thing to Destiny 2. One review on the Marathon page though said, "You killed my favorite game for this. My only regret is supporting this trash hopes Destiny would continue." So yeah, and then you go and you look at the graph here. Sorry we can't show it this week, but literally there's twice the amount, like one a massive explosion of reviews happened, and then it's like a ton more positive than negative. So yeah, and there you go. So I this is so fucking stupid. This is so fucking stupid. Like in a broader sense, like guys, review bombing Marathon is going to do nothing for this, and review bombing Destiny in return is also going to do nothing. It is literally just howling into the void. I will be honest with Destiny fans. The only way you're getting a Destiny 3, especially from Bungie, is if you were to if Marathon does insanely well and Sony then trusts them again. That because right now Sony obviously does not trust Bungie.
Not
So they're
really.
so they're not going to they're not going to they're not going to go ahead and be like, yeah, we're going to greenlight this game that's going to cost like 200 to 500 million dollars. Absolutely, we're going to do that in a fucking climate where money is wildly expensive and they might not make a return back. Yeah,
Right.
that's nuts. That's insane. So all of this is incredibly stupid. I you know, sorry to say, I was a Destiny player for a long time. But man, guys, it's over. It's okay. You got to play the game and the series for 12 fucking years, and it's not like it goes away forever. You can still play all the shit that's in that game. And they're gonna put out a giant pack with any DLC you might have missed that's heavily discounted. I might finally play the Renegades campaign or sorry, what's it called? The Edge of Fate campaign. I might actually finally
Yeah.
play that. Cool. Great. Sick.
I was
Oh
gonna
no.
say, it's funny you mentioned the whole like if there's any hope for Destiny 3, because there was a comment from a Reddit user. It's ironic because the only road to seeing a D3 is if Marathon manages to survive. If Marathon dies an early death, then so does Bungie.
Yes. That's absolutely true because like Destiny
You're
is already
absolutely accurate.
not Destiny. Bungie is already skating on thin ice.
It's not
That's the
of ice.
reality. Like Bungie lied to Sony when they got purchased. Bungie burned through tons of money. The
Yeah.
term for And I was talking with my friend David about this. Bungie is an incredibly expensive studio, and Sony would have known that when acquiring them because Microsoft knew it. There was an email that went out so you remember how all those emails got leaked during the Activision court case thing?
Oh,
Yeah, so
yeah.
and part of that was the Bungie emails, and Phil Spencer and Microsoft were looking to acquire Bungie, but the reason they didn't is because outside of expansion launches, they did not stay in the black, and Destiny set money on fire. Because, and that's true, because most of the time, outside of the expansion was always great. The campaigns were usually sick. The fucking raid, top tier content, same with the dungeon, and then all the seasonal content would be bullshit, boring mob grinds. Like that
Mhm.
that is the reality of that game, that situation. Um yeah, it is what it is. That is the reality of it. So you know that yeah. So he is correct. The only path forward to get Destiny 3 is for
Is if
Marathon to
Marathon
do
does
well
well.
and for Sony to sit and go, huh? Maybe these Bungie guys aren't a bunch of incompetent, lying fuckwits. Anyway, let's keep this going. And I don't think necessarily that's what's going to happen. I think that they're going to support Marathon for a long time and just kind of let that be flat until there's no player base. And then
Yeah.
I think what's going to happen on the other side of that with Christ, what's it called? Uh, they have another studio called Team LFG that they've pulled a lot of ex Bungie people off of Bungie into that to work on something called I think it's called Project Gummy Bears. So you know, there's that.
Yeah.
You know, what I'm saying is don't get your hopes about Destiny 3 anytime soon. If you really want Destiny 3, one, you better hope this last bit of content for Destiny 2 does really well, and you also better fucking hope that yeah, you better hope for that, and then you better hope that Marathon does well.
Right.
Which it's not doing horribly. It's kind of in a really weird spot in terms of player count goes. That's just the reality of it is like it's getting around 10,000 to 12,000 daily active players. It's very consistent. It's been that way for the past you know month month or two. You know, so I do think that people have started just dropped off as the season went on because in a game like this, it gets progressively sweatier
Yeah.
because what ends up happening is your very top of the top players keep playing and people get discouraged and then leave, or they come in, you know, they're basically a lot of the former players are waiting for the wipe that's coming with season 2 on Tuesday. They're waiting for
Oh.
the wipe to go through so everyone gets a fresh start with gear and contracts and all that shit.
Hmm.
So yep. Anyway, our next story is
Speaking of Bungie
speaking
and Destiny.
yes, Bungie reportedly considered relaunching Destiny as Destiny Infinity before deciding to pull the plug on Destiny 2. According to Forbes, so that's kind of up in the air on source, the Sony owned studio began discussing different scenarios about what the future of Destiny 2 could look like after December's Renegades, its Star Wars themed crossover expansion, that did even worse than the Edge of Fate, and didn't change sales or retention trajectory. Destiny Infinity would have relaunched alongside a return to one big expansion model Destiny used to have, but the idea fell by the wayside after it was allegedly decided that the costs and risks were too high, especially in the context of supporting Marathon. Destiny 3 was considered as ever, but things didn't swing that way, and there was no behind the scenes hints that a third game is coming. Um, and then, yeah, just a lot of people being really upset about you know, the end of Destiny, and I'm just like, I don't know, and maybe it's just because like I played the game for I've been playing Destiny since launch, right? Like the first one's launch day. And
Yeah.
I liked the series a lot, but one constant thing in my mind when it came to Destiny is the words this is a great game at times, but it would be perfect if it were not for insert Bungie fuck up. And that was kind of the full life of Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 of like this would be great, but this would be great, but this would be great, but and it just over time it just didn't retain players and it was bad onboarding new players, so it died or not died but got put into maintenance mode. Um yeah, I don't know. And then Destiny 2, like 9 years, guys. That's still a long time. It's a really long time. Hopefully this last update lets it go out on a high note and then you know, they eventually get to make a new one.
Although there is talks of a possible call to arms and crash the servers. Destiny fans distraught over Bungie's decision to end support for franchise are planning to try and crash the servers to demonstrate that there's still huge interest in the game. Um, a
It's
Reddit user issued a call to arms for all Destiny players to return on June 9th when the game's final ever content drop arrives. Need to
I
smash Marathon's all-time high to show them they made the wrong decision. So, good luck with that.
like not only that, it's like this is the mindset of literal fucking children. And even if it wasn't the mindset of fucking children, okay, like like okay, you needed to do this way before the shutdown. Because if you look at the Steam charts for Destiny 2, and we don't have the console numbers, right? Like we have no idea how well to tell if it was doing on PlayStation or Xbox. But like when their absolute peak of peaks on Steam was during the middle of COVID, during the release of in the middle of COVID during the release of I believe it was Lightfall, and then they had another big one during which like they had these things where it was like an expansion would come out and it would do really fucking well, and then people would drop off, and then they would come back for some updates, but then they drop off, and then it would happen again and again. And the thing is after the final shape, which was the end of the main story, the player base fucking dwindled, and it came back for the expansion after, but it was only a third of what the peak was with Final Shape. And then they came back for Renegades in December, November, but then the player base since has dwindled entirely, and it's gone up recently because of the announcement of hey, the game's over. But like guys, the past year and a half, almost 2 years, you've barely touched the fucking game relative to the total population. And then on top of that, like Destiny just can't run on those numbers. Like it just needed more people spending money, and in all fairness, part of this is on Bungie because the content during those seasons post the expansion is kind of fucking bad. So yeah, I don't know. It's
I'd say interesting point of order though. Beyond Light was 2020.
Beyond Light
Lightfall was
was
23.
okay. Then it was the Lightfall expansion. Sorry. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, like that. Yeah. So I don't know. Uh,
But again, to all the Reddit users who have heard the call to arms, good luck.
Good luck, guys. Yeah, like I'm not gonna tell you. I hope it fails. Like I think that I like Destiny. I would like to see more Destiny, but I'm also incredibly fucking tired of all the drama and stupidity around Destiny.
Yeah, acting like children. Anywho, for the next news story,
Yep. Next news
Witcher 3
story.
is a Witcher 3 is officially getting a third expansion titled Songs of the Past.
This is so weird. This is so
Like,
weird. This game is 11 years old.
and it's getting a third expansion now?
Yeah, like
Like,
maybe they're getting people ready for
Witcher
Witcher
4?
4. Yeah, so their CD Projekt Red is co-developing the game with Fool's Theory, a team of industry veterans who worked on Witcher 3. More details will be released in late summer. The more details on Song of the Past will be released in late summer. And yeah, we originally planned to make this reveal during our Red streams tomorrow, but let's say we found something you didn't expect on Red launcher. CD Projekt is currently working on multiple Witcher products, including Witcher 4, a remake of Witcher 1, and a multiplayer game set in the Witcher universe. Uh,
Oh.
sure, this is just so weird, I guess. But I guess maybe they just want to get that team up to speed on The Witcher.
Yeah.
Um,
Get them onto the lore and everything that goes on within that universe. So that tracks.
Um, yeah, so I don't know. This is just a weird thing. I think it's cool. It is only coming to the new platform versions. So like if you're playing on a PS4 still, you won't be playing this, but hey, PC, Xbox and PlayStation 5 all getting it. All right. Next news story is hey, Fable has been delayed to 2027. Uh,
I understand
Microsoft,
why they did this.
yeah, the said that made this sense so Fable can have quote the dedicated moment it deserves, which is likely referencing the fact that it was originally going to come out around when GTA 6 was coming. Um,
Which
they
it's
of course
currently September.
no, GTA
Uh
6 is November
oh,
19th.
GTA 6 is November.
Uh,
Okay. Well, Merry Christmas, everyone.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
this year is packed with incredible games for Xbox players to enjoy from Halo, Campaign Evolved, Gears of War E-Day, and COD Modern Warfare 4 to Control Resonance, Star Wars Galactic Racer, and Grand Theft Auto 6.
I'm sure going to enjoy all of those games not on an Xbox or even the
Yeah,
Xbox launcher. So
I'm definitely gonna enjoy some of these games, not on an Xbox, so get good, motherfuckers.
it's or even like their ecosystem. So
Yeah, that too.
yeah. So I don't know. I actually think this is fairly smart. And they're not the only game getting out of the way of Grand Theft Auto. Like that's just the reality of Grand Theft Auto. It is so big, it is sucking every bit of air out of the room. And I wouldn't want to launch near it either, especially relaunching a series like Fable. So take that how you will.
I mean, this is basically what we saw last year when there were rumors of GTA 6 being released at any point,
Yeah, well,
and
yeah,
everybody was just like, "Go,
it
go,
was
go, go,
originally
go, go,
announced.
go. Back it up,
Yeah,
back it up."
yeah. Originally, it was announced for May, and then everyone got out of May, and then they delayed it to holiday. Then everyone got out of the fucking way of the holiday, and then now it was pushed into you know, so,
2026.
yeah, and late 2026. And I'm like, all right, well, we're gonna get out of the way again. So,
Stay out
uh,
of the way for GTA 6.
it's man. Let me tell you, if you want to talk about the possible industry financial bomb that game could be, like, I think that game's gonna be amazing and it's gonna make all the money in the world.
Oh
But
yeah,
if
without
if it
question.
if it doesn't, every bit of investor money, funding, etc., is going to be panic running out of this industry, and it is going to be really goddamn weird. Um. Yeah.
Oh jeez. It's gonna be nuts when that game comes out though.
Yep. Yeah, and I think it's going to be great. Like, I'm looking forward to playing it and logging onto my PlayStation and seeing literally everyone online playing the goddamn game. So, yeah. All right. Well, anyway, we got our last news story. So there was some drama that went on earlier this week when Matt Booty went on a show and said, "Hey, that we're very clear about what platforms each game is coming to and set a precedent." And then the worst people in the world on Twitter complained about fucking PlayStation and Nintendo logos being in the Xbox showcase, in which uh in which Asha Sharma says, "Hey, the decision was a miss, and we're going to promise to rethink game showcase policy," which is so fucking stupid. It's so unbelievably stupid.
I have some words right now about those comments that were made before Xbox took ownership on, "We're gonna take a look on this and we'll get back to you," sort of thing. I have some words for these so-called fanboys of Xbox.
Go on.
Those dumb-ass sons of bitches do not know what the hell they're talking about, and they
Well,
need to learn that a lot of shit is gonna be multi-plat, not just exclusives, so y'all need to take a chill pill
it
for 2 seconds and let them do their goddamn job.
well,
Thank you.
it, and and the reality of the situation is guys, they're never going back. Colin Moriarty posted this, his point of view on this whole Xbox thing. Why would
Right.
Xbox execs continue to earnestly listen to the very core fans that already enthusiastically help lead the brand down the primrose, uncritically supporting every botched move they've made the last 2 generations, no matter what? There will be no comeback for Xbox as it is being, as far as it being a leading hardware ecosystem. There's simply no realistic win condition within the traditional framework. No future for the brand in consoles, obviously. But if they make an open PC, people will just buy games on Steam. And if they make a closed PC, it'll be more niche than the series machines by an order of magnitude. If anything, they owe it to their fan base to put their cards on the table and admit the position they find themselves in. They want core Xbox players to become PC players. They want to be fully third party. Concerning the current conditions, that all makes sense. Cool. Say it, do it, and move forward. Enough waffling. And yeah, I agree with that. I think that a lot of really hardcore Xbox fans are trying to put the genie back in the bottle.
Too late. Genie is
And
out and about.
yes, I'm not like happy about that because it means less competition and it just means, like it's just bad for the industry long term, but it is what it is. Like the majority of people are never going to buy an Xbox if Xbox games are everywhere,
Yeah.
and that's fine. But Microsoft does not have the stomach, and I understand why, to lock those games down exclusively because they would probably be eating like a decade of losses until they broke even. Now, I do think they could be wildly successful if they did the walled garden strategy because, okay, let's look at this. I want you to think about everything that company owns. All right. Call of Duty, Warcraft, Diablo, StarCraft, uh, Elder Scrolls, Doom, uh, not Starfield, Fallout. Like, think about all the franchises that Xbox owns. And,
Yeah.
all right. Now, picture if they just threw up their hand, Minecraft, that's another one. Imagine if they threw up their hands, said, fuck you. If you want to play any of those, buy an Xbox.
Fuck. That's all I
I
gotta say right now. It's good
Now
old fashioned.
I don't think they're gonna do that.
No.
They would lose too much money for years and years and years and years until they finally retrained their consumer to buy an Xbox. Like that's the reality of it because what was that news story last week? 58% of Forza players were on PC.
Yep.
And that's like across the board. That's so many franchises there's at this point. Like I would imagine for most franchises, besides maybe some ones that are kind of really old, that are older and more tied to console, like Gears. Like I'd be
Hmm.
willing to bet if you looked at that Gears Reloaded, probably sold better on PC. I or PlayStation even. Like I just don't see uh yeah, I just don't see it. I just don't see the I just don't see the world where they can go back to that unless they, and like I said, unless they want to eat a decade of losses. We talked about this, and this would be horribly bad for the consumer because you're having to buy a another box, right? To play everything, and that would be a bummer. But from a business standpoint, if they're willing to eat 10 years of losses, then yeah, they could absolutely have a monopoly on some of the biggest games. Like I want you to think, right? Like I want you to think that about like how big Call of Duty is. Call of Duty is consistently a top 10 seller. Call of Duty is consistently a high performer. And imagine if like once this 10-year FTC thing like filters out, they went and said, "Okay, we're going to make it so Call of Duty is only on Xbox. You have to buy an Xbox to play Call of Duty." Or the biggest one I always bring up is Elder Scrolls 6. Right? People have been wanting Elder Scrolls 6 forever. Imagine if they sold Elder Scrolls 6 only on the Xbox console.
Yeah. Damn it.
Well, what's up?
No, I was just saying, like, if Elder Scrolls 6 was only on Xbox, like, damn it, I gotta gotta get
Yeah,
my
but
Xbox up and running.
it
Also, before we get
oh,
it further into it, I did look at the numbers for Gears
mm,
Reloaded. Current players right now is 162.
yeah, that sounds about right.
This is just on Steam, by the way.
Yeah.
181 is a 24-hour peak, and all-time peak, which was 9 months ago now, so August 25, is almost 4,900.
Okay, so yeah, that did not do exceptionally well on Steam.
It's actually garnered a million players across Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. So more
okay,
players are playing on consoles than on Steam.
yeah, and then I would also say that Gears of War in particular, like the first game is not what you would probably want. It's okay. That's it. They keep remaking the first one. I'm sitting here and I go like, guys, remake 2 and 3. Like 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 that's what people want. They want 2 and 3.
Like,
Okay.
come on, guys, let's go.
Um. But yeah, I think that something that Xbox has started to do under the Asha Sharma reign, and this is something that you have to be very aware of in, I guess, the console
Mhm.
space, is there's a difference between catering to your fans and there's a difference between catering to your fans and then letting your fans run the business even if it's a terrible fucking decision. Um yeah.
Yeah,
So and I think one of the things uh and everything they've done since Asha Sharma's took over except the Game Pass thing is that uh and this particular tweet from Imran Khan, uh this can't be a logical way to run a gaming division by being surface level reactionary to your biggest fanboys and stuffing a lollipop in their mouths whenever they cry out. So, and yeah, I agree with that. I think it's a I just think it's bad, man. Like that at the end of the
yeah.
day, I just think it's not a good look. It seems like you just don't have a direction and you're trying to cater to like what, like 5% of gamers that are like hardcore Xbox only psychopaths. And those guys exist. Like I know those guys. Like I went to high school with one of those guys. Like he owned a PlayStation, but he only played exclusives on it. And when the PS4 and Xbox One came out, and then later the what's it called? The Xbox Series came out. Like the dude only plays on Xbox, and that's just what he plays, and that's fine. I mean, you're entitled to play as much Xbox as you want to play, but it is very much just that, like, dude is a minority. You know, that's what he plays. He plays Xbox every single game. The Xbox version, he wants to play Xbox. That's fine. But like that's not the majority of people, and expecting them to go back to the exclusive model is just insanity. So, yeah. Anyway, that's the news.
That is the news.
Uh,
So,
so
Bronson, what have you been playing?
what have I been playing? So I'm gonna get the one I want to talk about most out of the way first. Marathon has fully clicked for me, and what I mean by that is I liked Marathon. I thought it was a fun game. I was enjoying the shooting. I was enjoying the general loop, but I was still kind of learning everything. How the items
Hmm.
work, how the map works, how the map play or the maps play and function. And then like over the past week and a half or so, as I was playing more, it like clicked. And this game is the highest of highs and the lowest of lows distilled in a video game. It
Hmm.
is so good. So, and what I mean by that is so for those of you who don't know what an extraction shooter is you load in with a bare bones loadout, you find your gear and whatnot as you play, and if you extract, you get to keep your gear. And the more hard PvE stuff you kill, the better the loot you get is. And with that in mind, the like marathon loop of when you kill something like a warden for example and you get really goddamn good purple loot feels so good because of the PvP aspect, hence the extraction part, of like people can come in and just fuck with you. Like they'll see you in the middle of a boss fight and they'll come down and start popping you. Like they'll fuck, and the thing is they can take your shit. So like the highs are like when you down a boss and you take all the stuff off the boss, and now you're running around with a really good kit because you got a bunch of good stuff off the boss. And you run to another crew who's still better geared than you, and then you murk them and you steal all their shit, and
It's that high.
you get out of that mission. It is the fucking best. It's so
It's
fucking
that high. I
good.
swear to God.
Yes, exactly. Hold on, my pillow on my chair fell down. Uh, but yes, it is this fucking just amazing goddamn high from it, right? And on the other side of that, though, you'll be on a run and like you'll kill another crew, but then you'll die to something in PvE or you'll get third partied, and then you will lose all that good shit, your purple shields, your purple implants, your gold guns, and you'll want to fucking kill yourself. you'll
Gut
you'll
punch.
want to
Literal
you'll want
gut punch.
yeah, you'll like, oh my god, I just lost all that good shit. But it's like kind of lessened because they got the free kits, which are good enough. And as you level up with different factions, you can like buy guns on the cheap or even for free that are pretty good. So you're
Right.
and like yes, there is a big gap between someone who's like super geared and someone who's not, but it's not insurmountable. Like I killed two dudes who had full purple yellow sets with my green shotgun because I flanked them and fucked them up by sneaking
Just
behind them.
pop, pop.
Yeah, I got behind him. Boom, boom, boom. Reload. My teammate starts distracting the guy, and I get on his side and go boom, 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 and then we steal all their shit. And it was
Fuck
like,
it. Let's go.
yeah, fuck yeah. Um, and the community's been very friendly. The community's been exceptionally friendly to like learning, and you'll get into you know I've been doing a lot of solo queuing and filling, so I'm like
Yeah.
coming into duos or like even trios where everyone's solo queued and like everyone's super nice and chill. Um, I like, and sometimes I'll do what is known as rook runs. So there's a you play as different characters with different abilities, and there is a specific class called the Rook, where they're the only class that does not start at the beginning of a match. They come in the middle of the match, and they're also the only thing that's solo queues, and they can't do contracts. Their entire life
Uh,
is going around and scavenging, and then like also trying not to fight people because it'd be a 3v1 most of the time. But man, you'll have some rook runs where you'll run into other rooks and you'll have to fight the other rooks, or they'll just like leave you alone. They're like, "Hey man, I'm cool, I'm cool. Let's go scavenge, go
we're
separate
derpy.
ways."
Let's go.
Or you'll run into other rooks who are like, "Hey, do you want to squat up and start
I
fucking
say, you
with
want tag team? Let's go.
do you want to squat up and start fucking with the regular runners?" And it's awesome. It's so good.
Oh.
It combines like all of my favorite aspects of PvE and PvP games, where you have these like hard concerted challenges of like a Destiny
Mhm.
raid or like World of Warcraft Mythics, combined with like the PvP of a Halo or a fighting game, combined with just like the skill check and tension of a fighting game, and you're just like, this is so fucking good. Um, it's not perfect. I do think that the grind for some of these contracts is a bit much. I think the new player onboarding is really rough. Like I've told most of my like I'm trying to get my friends into this game.
Mhm.
But I told people, look, your first 5 to 10 hours with this game, you're gonna be riding the struggle bus. It is what it
But
is.
once
Like,
you're off that struggle bus and you know what you're doing and you're just going off, then it's
yeah,
like, let's
yes,
go.
and then I do think you have to have a very specific mindset of, okay, I lost all my shit, whatever, let's run again. And I haven't felt this high since Heroes of the Storm, right? I haven't felt this
Oh,
high since Heroes of the Storm, where every time I finish a match, if it's hold on, if it's a big win, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go again, man. That was so good. And then, but if it's a big loss, like you die and you lose all your shit, it's one of the few games I can say, fuck that. I need to get my shit back. Let's run it back. Let's go again. And this is dangerous because this can lead to you being up 6 to like 3 in the morning running marathon matches, doing this shit. So yeah, look guys, there's a free week starting on Tuesday. Please go check it out. Go check out Marathon. Go play Marathon. Go
have you
play
heard about our
fucking
Lord and Savior Marathon?
yes, yes. It and I feel that, and people are like, well, a lot of this stuff is in other extraction shooters, and I do agree with that. But I think that there is some additional lore stuff here that's really cool. That's the first thing I would say. Just the lore stuff is really neat. The
Mhm.
next thing I would also say is, the shooting feels a lot better than those. Like it's Bungie shooting. It's best in class. Uh, and then and then the last thing I would say is, and I know this is controversial because some people don't like it. I think they're out of their fucking mind. I think Marathon visually, like its art style, looks awesome. This game
Mhm.
looks so fucking cool. There are so many times I've been seeing stuff in this game where I'm like, this looks fucking amazing. This looks so goddamn good. And it's like more hard science fiction instead of like survivalist or horror bullshit, which that's another reason why I
Yeah.
really like it. Yeah, look, I'm saying give it a chance. It has a free week. Season 2 starts, so everyone's on a nice hard reset soon. Um, and yeah, I'm in it, man. I'm in it. We're almost at the halfway point of the year, and we do our game of the year check in. It's in my top two.
It's in your top two.
It's in my top two.
Oh
It's
shit.
really good. Like now that I understand it and I'm starting to gel with it, like yeah, it's in my top two. So take that how you will. The other game I played was 007 First Light.
Oh yeah. How are you
Yeah,
enjoying that?
one, it's incredibly well paced. It's like it kind of just goes, like it moves really well. Like it feels like a Bond movie for sure. Like in the fact that it's just paced really well. Like finding good stopping points has actually been hard. I'm like, oh man, I want to keep going. The story's really good. Like it's a great it's a great Bond origin story. I really like the characters. I think the game looks great. I do think I wish it had more of the Hitman-ness to it, I guess, is what I would say.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, while there are multiple objectives and ways to do spycraft and get around and whatnot, and,
Mhm.
you know, I do think that a lot of it is not that. A lot of it is like, there is verily a clear intended way to do this. And yeah, there might be an alternate path or two, but really you're kind of you're meant to talk to this the one I think of last night is like, yeah, there's another way to do this, but the easiest, most correct path is to use your watch to drug this guard to get to a camera to pretend to be a journalist to get in the back. And there may have been other ways
Oh,
to
yeah.
do that, but this obviously seems like the fastest, most correct route. I am curious to see if there are more routes and more ways to do that. I will say this: it very much reminds me of if you were to mix Hitman with Uncharted, because the stealth is a lot more in depth than something like an Uncharted. And I do
Mhm.
like that, and I do like the use of gadgets, but it does have those Uncharted style set pieces
Mm.
where you'll like run through, you'll run out of an exploding building, or you'll do this car chase, or you'll like fall, do the Uncharted thing of falling out of an airplane and having to like jump from cargo to cargo and whatnot. I will say I did have a shootout in a museum because I got spotted, and
Oh, shit.
I had that shootout in a museum, and it had like all these LED screen walls. And the way I was shooting by like slowing down time, popping a dude in the head, slowing down time, popping a dude in the head, screen walls are breaking. It kind of reminded me of John Wick. I'm like,
Oh my god, yes.
I kind of
Yes.
want, I was like, damn, these guys need to make a John Wick game. Uh, that's what they need to do next.
Hear us out, guys. Hear us out. Like, origin
Yeah,
story John Wick
the Baba Yaga.
before the events of the first movie.
There you go. I know there's a John Wick game being worked on by the Space Marine guys.
Oh, yeah.
Um, so yeah, yeah, I think in general, the gunplay feels real good. I do like all the ways you can weave in gunplay and other things. So like when you run out of ammo, you can throw your gun at the dude to interrupt him and then run up and melee him. You can use, there's different watch gadgets though. I'm gonna be real. For the reasons of stealth, it is so obvious that the best gadgets are the poison dart and the poison dart and the fucking what's it called? The laser, when you get the laser.
Oh,
It's just that
good.
they are too good for too many situations. So, yeah,
Mhm.
I can't really say my first impression of almost the halfway mark of the game is I really do love it though. It kind of feels a little like something from the 360 era as well almost, or like an
Oh,
evolution of
yeah.
that. It's I know people keep bringing up like Hitman as the comparison because it's the same studio, but I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it has some Hitman identity for sure in terms of like some of the stuff going on here, but like there's a lot of Uncharted DNA in here, man. Um,
Like, you can almost feel that Uncharted vibe in there, is what you're
yeah,
saying.
yes,
Huh.
absolutely. Yeah, I've really been enjoying it though. I would love to sit down for a long period this week and bang out the second half of it. Yeah, overall really like it. It's they did a good job. I was actually kind of concerned about the performance in it at first because like when in pre-release those early demos they showed looked like they had some real frame rate dips, but
Oh, yeah.
on my PC it's ran great. And that's what I've heard from most people, and I've heard it's been pretty good experience on PlayStation as well. So yeah, no, I highly recommend it.
Like,
Y'all
what
should
am
check.
I saying? Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, y'all should check out First Light. It's a good game. It's a really good game. And it's currently sitting at a 86 on Metacritic. So anyway, I don't think that's about it though. Sorry for the short show this week, everybody. Uh, not a whole lot of news. Our third host is sick. All those things kind of piled together to make for a shorter experience. Bye, y'all.
Bye.